On Ruby's latest visit, I would learn that ghosts live inside these walls. The ghosts are the vestiges of what started as a bright romance, but faded over time. It was Friday night, and I was cooking. I felt Ruby's force and knew she would visit. Ruby never knocks. She walked into my home wearing a fur draped over her shoulder, a fur that up until tonight was on the shelf of my closet. I realized then that the contents of our lives are passed from those who come before. Ruby would explain where some of my possessions came from, items that were valuable, and some that were not. Ruby crossed the room and changed the music. "Please don't talk about me when I'm gone," began to emanate throughout the room. This was one of Ruby's signature pieces, and when I was young, I heard stories about how Ruby would strut across the stage while licking her thumb in a sizzling manner that hinted of sex. Very risque for 1920. She sat down at the bar and sipped a glass of champagne I had poured for her. Ruby's spirit always has a purpose, something she wants to share.
I have a marvelous idea. Let's take a car ride. I want to go to the Whitcomb Hotel. I need to return this towel I found in Johnny's suitcase.
A towel would cause irreparable damage in their marriage. She found it as she unpacked Johnny's suitcase after he had returned from a trip to California's Central Valley for a weekend of duck hunting.
Imagine telling me the duck hunting trip was a great success. Then he handed me 3 ducks. Well, something didn't smell right, and it wasn't those ducks.
We got into the car and drove towards Market Street. Traffic was unusually light for a Friday night.
Pull over there, not too close.
The hotel is perched on Market Street, opposite Civic Center, and has been a landmark since the early 1900s. The two of us sat looking directly at the Whitcomb Hotel and watched as a few people entered and left the hotel.
All right. Be a sport and take this towel to the front desk and see if you see anyone. Johnny and I had an agreement, you see. We had agreed he could sleep with anyone he wanted after we were married. But I suspected he was seeing my chum, Lucille Prager. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
It was clear from the look in Ruby's eyes that she could not believe that a friend had betrayed her. I hurried across the street. As I entered the hotel, I realized that I had stepped back in time and was firmly planted into 1933. Prohibition was no longer. The bar was fully stocked, and champagne was flowing freely. I turned and walked to the front desk and passed an older gentleman. He looked a lot like John Davis. He and a woman smiled at each other as they entered the guest elevator. "Excuse me," I asked the bellman. "Who was that man?"
Dear, that was Johnny and Lucille Prager.
The disdain that Ruby felt would soon overcome her judgment.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.